Hey, I'm going to be talking about my memory loss. My name is Monty Crew, and I live here in the Philippines. And this is Crew Family Philippines Channel. So, getting to it, my great grandmother died at 99 years old from Alzheimer's. My grandmother died at 87 from Alzheimer's, and my mother died at 75 from Alzheimer's. So I have a big fear of getting it, even though I'm a male in the family. It scares me. And since I had this stroke, it seems that I have early Alzheimer's. I don't know, but it definitely scares me. I have terrible memory loss. It's insane. My wife, she really gets aggravated trying to listen to me tell her something because, I'll start the conversation. I'll forget the person's name I'm talking about. Sometimes I forget the whole conversation. By the time she answers me, I'll ask her, hey, can I ask you a question? And by the time she says, yeah, go ahead, I've already forgot what the question is. And it makes it hard these days to make a video because I get very confused. I have to do a lot of editing so I can fix the videos. And because I just get so forgetful, the other day I was talking to a friend and trying to tell him, that he should get the original of a drug that he's wanting to get here in the Philippines. And he said, well, what's the alternative? And I said fake, which it's not fake because they do sell, these guys on the street and stuff, they'll come up and sell you some fake medicine. And so I don't want to call it fake. And I couldn't remember the name for generic. And it honestly took me like 2 hours after I got off the phone with him to think about what the name generic was. And so it gets really aggravating and frustrating for me because I've always kind of been a fast talker and fast thinker, and I could just pick things up and go. And that is just really, really gone now for me, and it's really tough to deal with. And anybody over there that in America or Europe or wherever you're watching from has a history of this in your family, I would suggest if you have the money or you have the insurance, to go down and get checked out and just see what's going on, because I think if you get it treated early, maybe you might be able to last a little longer with a little bit of memory than without doing that. I'm not able to do it. I just don't have the funds to go down and get that checked out. But life is what it is. But so that is what I'm dealing with now. It's a lot of challenges. When I go out, I don't have a problem finding my way back. A friend of mine does, and he has to take his wife with him wherever he goes, just to make sure he'll forget how to go home. And he has a decent memory, but just when it comes to that, he just can't catch on how to get back to where he came from. And usually, even now, if I've been there once, I can get there again. Maybe now I have to go twice before I remember well. But on my bills and all that kind of stuff, I'm able to keep up with them because I write down notes and I keep track of how much I need to pay for this or for that during the month. And I have alerts set on my phone and alarms set on my phone to make sure that I am able to take care of that, because I want to be responsible for my own bills. I don't want my wife to have to take care of that and me. She doesn't have to take care. A lot of people are regular viewers. Some of them think that she still has to take care of me and dress me and everything like she used to. And she doesn't. I'm able to make breakfast over here at the studios. I have a grill hooked up here that I can cook eggs on, and I have a toaster, and I have some noodles, just some stuff that I can make for myself. We call this El Tampo Studios, mainly because I come over here, I have a bed here, and I can sleep here when my wife has Tampo. And these days it's very easily done for me to set her off on some Tampa because I aggravate her pretty bad when I can't remember things. And my daughter, she doesn't care because she's 4 years old. I forget something, she lets it slide. And she's always hugging me and kissing me, which keeps me in a very positive mood. And I can be having the worst day, and that little girl come up and give me a hug, and it just melts all my troubles away. And she's a little sweetheart. She can be a pain, which all 4-year-olds can be, but for the most part, she's really sweet. And I'll tell her, sweetheart, I forgot this. And she'll go, well, just think about it, Daddy. You're going to remember. You know, she's just really sweet. My wife is like, just shut up. I don't want to hear it anymore. So she ends up having a lot more conversations with her friends at the house, and she doesn't usually try to, you know, she's sweet to me. You know, she'll come by and hug me or give me a pat on the head or something. But we had a whole different relationship before this happened to me, the stroke deal. I mean, I think I was a handsome man when she married me. We went everywhere together. We did everything together. We would ride the motorcycle all over this island, and she'd be on the back, and, you know, we just had a great time. We both loved to travel and do all that kind of stuff. So if I could say anything about that, I would say start out young and do all the traveling you can, because sometimes when you get older, you have a stroke or you have a heart attack or whatever that might be, it might slow you down. You might have a bad hip or something. So it kind of sucks when you get old and you have to deal with all that, but it's also good to be able to deal with it rather than the alternative. You know, I could have died during the stroke. I could have died during a heart attack. So I've had like 2 or 3 of them, I guess. 3 of them. That's pretty easy to remember. But so yeah, my mother, she used to call me and be terrified. She was schizophrenic, I guess, from having the Alzheimer's. And she would call me, and there were people that were breaking in the house. She had drug dealers that had moved into her barn. She came up with the craziest stuff, and she would call me. I lived in Florida, she lived in Ohio, so we were in the same time zone. But she would sometimes call me at 3 o'clock in the morning and terrified. You know, her husband works nights, and he would leave at around 11, wouldn't come back until the morning. And he would actually lock the front gate so she couldn't get out. And instead of hiring somebody to stay with her and take care of her while he was at work, he decided that he would just leave her wander around the house. And she would get on all these shopping networks and order all this stuff. And when I went to the house when she was dying, I ended up going to Ohio, where she's from, where she lived. And I went to the house, and it was just stacks of all kinds of stuff all over the house. He should have took her credit card away years ago. I mean, she had like 16 vacuum cleaners. She had all kinds of sets of plates and silverware, and two of everything at least. And it was just insane. And so he ended up just having yard sales and selling all this stuff for pennies on the dollar just to get rid of it, get it out of the house. So he couldn't even walk through the house. It was insane. Went upstairs to the bedroom. She had just been sleeping on the floor. This man makes $225,000 a year. But later on, I found out he'd been cheating with some girl in town. I guess he was giving her all of the money. And I don't know. I was just a nightmare in itself. But, so I would say something about my mom. This was one of the strongest, healthiest women that I've ever known in my life. And we didn't always get along well. We had a lot of issues, a lot of problems between us. But watching her go from you know, 150 pounds, 160 pounds, down to, you know, 75 pounds or 80 pounds, whatever it was. It was just unbelievable. And then trying to talk to her, she was just lost in her own mind. She wouldn't eat. She wouldn't. All she'd do is tell the other ladies around her in the nursing home about her horses that she raised. She raised Arabian horses since I was a little kid, and she would tell all of them about it. And then the ones that had already heard her, they would come by and she would tell them, "Hey, have you heard about my horses?" "Yeah, I've heard about them 10 times already. I don't want to hear it again," and walk away from her. And so that got worse and worse until they ended up putting her on hospice. And basically they just quit feeding her and she starved to death. So it was a sad situation. And I used to go and visit my grandmother in the nursing home, great-grandmother. And she was a sweetheart. And she would tell me about all the old stories. You know, at 99 years old, she came over to the USA from a different country, and then Ireland, and she had married a young man at 13 years old, and he drove a wagon for the same people that she worked for. She baked in the house, and he drove carriage, wagon, whatever, for them, and got their supplies and took them into town, whatever, what have you. And all the beautiful stories she told me were wonderful because she remembered everything from the past. And I have that too. I remember things from the past, but trying to learn something new now is almost impossible. You know, I know English and Spanish, so with the Spanish I'm able to understand some of the signs that they speak. A lot of the words are the same with different pronunciations, I guess. So I'm able to pick up on a little bit of that, but not enough to where I could sit down and have a conversation with somebody. Listening to them, I can pick up words here and there and put it together and try to make a sentence out of it, or figure out at least what they're discussing. But it's tough when you're, you know, so I'm terrified of it at 62, and my daughter's terrified as well. She's only 32, but watching, you know, that progression go down in the family, you know, from 99 to 87 and down to 75, makes you worried, you know, about your 60s and what can happen. And if that happens to me and I go into memory loss from that and get schizophrenic and stuff, I'm not sure how my wife will handle that. And that gets a little scary to me as well. And so if you got any Alzheimer's in your family, you're thinking about any of that, drop me a comment down below and tell me what you think and what you're dealing with, and maybe between all of us we can help each other. I don't know. I try to answer every comment. Worst case scenario, if I don't necessarily agree with the comment or it's just a troll, I might give a thumbs up or hide you from the channel, whichever works. But anyway, I don't know what else to say about this except for, you know, I would definitely get checked out if you can, and see what that can bring, you know, to light for you. And it's very scary for me, so I can definitely relate to whoever's going through something like this. So anyway, I shall see you on the next video. Please like and subscribe. Go and check out some of our other videos that are in the lineup, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Bye.